Building and subassemblies can save you a lot of headaches and a lot of time down the road. Today, we are back on the Thunderstruck, our fun Duster truck project. We're putting Duster suspension under a tube frame chassis for our 39 Dodge pickup that I'm building for my goddess. So today, we are working on the right front upper control arm mount and the shock tower assembly. And we are being real careful to make sure we have everything right. I spent a lot of time before even turning the camera on to get things lined up because this thing has been banged around. We've extended the chassis out. We've extended the chassis table out, not in that order. We put the rear end under, the rear suspension. It's just a lot has been going on. And so stuff has been getting banged and knocked. Plus, we've been in the midst of a major shop revamp and reset. So I needed to just come in here and kind of refocus on this. So I want to bring you around. The episode that's actually airing today, which is about a month back from when you're seeing this, is where I was welding that one together. And I said I was going to revisit that and share more in detail with you how I'm doing this. We've had some great questions on today's video that I'm going to address today, and we're going to get into welding this all together. And it's late in the day, but I want to get this thing done so we can keep moving forward. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to bring you around, and then I'm going to talk some more. Stick around. I'm Mike. This is My Car's Shop. All right, so you can see this one. It's all welded together, and everything is copacetic, and nothing is sofacetic. Come over here, and I'll talk through where I'm at. I had made some mistakes, which is why I like to slow down and take my time on stuff like this. My dimension from our wedge to the top is the same on both sides so that we're allowing for plenty of shock travel and motion. We're sure that we're not going to bottom out and rip the shock mount off, etc. We will go through those numbers again one more time just to be sure everything is copacetic, nothing is sopathetic. But I was off here. You can see that my gap, this dimension here, you can see over there how that one is nice and tight up here and wider back there. I had this one centered for some reason, so we were off about that 1/4 inch. 3/8 of an inch, whatever that is more than probably closer to a half. But anyway, we were off. So you can see now that our angle brace here is going to line up with the upper control arm mount here to give it reinforcement. We're off back here a little bit. I'm going to tweak that. That one's okay. This one's not. I'm going to tweak that once we get some of this welded up here, because it's like grabbing a handful of air right now. So we're going to be tacking this together and getting it all together. And this one again is in the same place. So my goal right now is to probably tack here, tack here, tack here, tack here. Then we'll readjust back here, and we should be able to take this whole sub-assembly off from the wedge, which we got to cut off there and there. We'll do that with a plasma cutter. And then we'll take it over to the bench and we'll MIG weld it together, and then we'll go over it with the TIG welder and get it all nice and solid and clean and pretty so it matches that side. I don't know if you noticed that in the time lapse, but I accidentally took off one of the wrong clamps and the whole thing came up because the shock is out here pushing on it. So I got to get it clamped back down in place. Oh, that's the fun of it. It's a little on the warm side, so I'm going to grab a glove and try to get it. I think I'm going to pull the shock out of my way because it's kind of fighting me. Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I forgot that when I did that side, I didn't have the new shock. Maybe I did have the new shocks. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so we got to figure this out here and get our 7.5 inch height back where we need to be. Oh, nice. Our weld broke. I didn't have it tacked as well as I thought. Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of those days. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, I'm going to fix this all up and we'll be right back. All right, there we go. All of our clamps are off. Object screw up is taken care of. So now I got to get the plasma cutter out and it off the frame. And I got to take the control arm bolts out That one's a little bit on the stucky side. We'll find some way to get that out of there. Hold on. That ain't gonna work. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money ain't for nothing and the chicks for free. Well, can't really get a good purchase on hitting that thing, but it's coming. So anyway, I'll get that out of there and we'll be right back. Okay, reason the bolt wouldn't come out was because all the weight of the tire assembly, control arm, all that stuff. So, all right, so I'm going to get this buzzed off of the frame now, hopefully. I'm guessing I don't have enough compressor. Starting to wonder if my tips are bad, which is a problem because I can't get tips for this anymore. Might be because I have it plugged into an extension cord. 100%, that's what it was. And there's our subassembly. So now we can take that over to the bench and go to town. If you followed the project, you will see that that's what I'm doing on everything is I'm building subassemblies before I put them onto the frame. So it's important. I noticed that my thing is just a little bit on the crooked side here, and it's mostly because I welded this piece on crooked. I am not going to worry about that. There's going to probably be a piece of tin covering that anyway. So yeah, it's, you know, it's fine for what this is. Going 60 miles an hour down the road at 100 feet, you'll never see that. The main thing I'm concerned about is strength. And so I got to get and I'll be back. All right, I've got everything all sanded down and cleaned up and ready. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the MIG welding. Then in the places that is heavier, we'll do the MIG pass. And then we'll get the TIG out and we'll do the TIG pass so we're sure we get massive penetration on those key suspension components. And we should be done. So it's a cool little sub-assembly. I like it a lot. And yeah, it worked out pretty good. So let's get her done. All right, there we go. Whew, that was a job of work. I missed one spot, but I still need to make the top plates and the back plates, so I'm gonna let that go. I need to get in here and grind a little bit. But something I want to share with you, this happened a couple of years ago when we were building the mounts for the Challenger to put it on the rotisserie. So let me get you over in the tripod and then we'll talk about it and I'll show you. I've always been the kind of welder that, given good circumstances and me being more patient, I can lay a pretty good bead down. And when we were doing the rotisserie mounts, I was struggling. I could not get this thing to lay a bead. Now this is, I'm only using 25 thousandths wire in this thing. I don't have any 35. So I know that there's limitations in what it can do. 3/16 is about as far as you want to push it. And that's pushing it really too far with 25 thousandths wire. But I couldn't lay a bead on that crap for anything, no matter what I did. And I'm like, what was going on? And Chris happened to be here. And he said, dude, your ground wire is just arcing like crazy. And what had happened was, in the ground itself, the wire had actually burned through, the bolt had burned through the clamp. So we bought a different clamp and I didn't like it. So I went ahead and I fixed my old clamp. But here's what happened today. Find it somewhere here. I promise. Yeah, right here. I'm welding along and all of a sudden this is laying there. And the same thing happened but didn't happen. This time it wasn't it didn't burn through the clamp like it did here. What it did was it came out of it burned off inside the grommet inside of it. So I was struggling again today. I was laying some amazing beads, oh, this is going so good. And then all of a sudden it's just like bird poops everywhere. And I was really fighting with it and struggling. I see I missed another spot. Fighting with it and struggling it and so forth. And what I did was I stripped this back. I took a pair of vice grips. I clamped it right to the product. And all of a sudden I'm laying a beautiful bead again. It's like, okay. Now, I don't know if you remember in the last episode, I commented that maybe the welder's getting old. Well, you know what? I think the welder's getting old. I'm starting to wonder if the wire in here is deteriorating and I just need to put a new ground cable on the welder. Anyway, just a word to the wise from the idiot. If you're struggling, look at, and I don't even know what it looks like inside the welder. Maybe there's an issue in there too. So anyway, we got her done. I missed a couple spots, so I'm going to mark those with orange so I know the next time I work on that part of it to go back and touch stuff up. I've got to do a little fill in here. There was a spot in here that I missed here, and there was one other spot that I noticed I missed. I got to find right here. So I'm going to mark those with orange so we know that. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you know that orange paint always tells me it's something I need to look at in the future so I don't forget. So let me go grab that. It's in the paint shop. I'll be right back. All right, let's pop this off of here. She's definitely tight. Here's my helmet. We'll take our sub-assembly over and we're going to stick her on the frame. Try to get her lined up close. It's tight, that's for sure. I made her good. That's the heat shrink of all of this, putting it together. And there we go. All right, I'm just going to tap her down in. She's back too far, so I got to get a bigger hammer, and we'll get her knocked into position here. But it's getting close. It's getting there. Got her tapped back down in place where the where the welds were, so I know it's close. I got to dimension all of this, and there's lots to do yet, but for now, this is what we got. Get this up in there. A little heavy with the tire on there. Grab my other cam bolt that went flying. There it is. Wow. Make my life a lot easier if I took the tire off. So we'll do the right thing and not do that. Ugh, come on. Oh, it's so close, and yet so far. I got to do something for you guys to laugh at me, right? I'll be right back. Whew, that was a job of work, but it's in there like ragu. So hopefully my units are strong enough. And the one we're going to find out is to use them. One of the questions, a viewer, I can't remember who it was, sorry, it's one of the newer people on the channel, and I didn't take time to look, so I apologize, I don't remember your name right now, was asking me why I didn't use the hoops. There was a couple of reasons why I didn't do that. One, I didn't have anything, and I won't buy anything if I have something I can use. But the second piece in this was trying to incorporate reinforcing the upper control arms mounts. That's part of what this is about. So it's not just about shocks. And as I thought about it after that question was asked, I thought, yeah, I could have done that, but it would have been a lot harder to incorporate. Not saying it couldn't have been done. I just hadn't thought it through, and I still haven't thought it through. But my initial blush on that is it would have been hard to incorporate these reinforcements going into the plates where the upper control arms bolt in here. So I would have had to completely engineer something different. What I basically did here was replicate what's on the factory car. And so that's why I did it. I'm trying to use what I have. If I wasn't using Duster suspension, if I was using Mustang 2, or even if I was using Aspen Volare, Aspen Volare upper would have been pretty much the same as this. So anyway, that was my rationale behind it. I think we're going to be good and strong once everything is all tied together and welded in. I thought about putting a brace across between these two things, but it's going to depend where the motor falls in, and I don't want to complicate things under the hood. So I suppose I could make some kind of a bolt-in brace. We'll see. We'll see because the front of the motor is going to come. The fan is going to be about right here, but we have tons of space up here, so we could come up over with something if we wanted to. I don't think it's going to be necessary. I mean, this is really, it's not a drag truck. It's not a work truck. It's just it's a car with a truck body on it. It's really what it is. It's light duty, going to be driven around. Yes, we have rough roads around here, so obviously we need to be, taking that into consideration. But I think overall, it's going to be all right in its overalls. So what's coming next? I need to get all the new front suspension parts in and get everything cleaned up and painted. I want to get that done real soon. As far as engineering goes, I need to get the torsion bar situation sorted out. So I need to make a decision on doing the front suspension bits and getting all that done, which is about a full day's work if I go right at it. And probably 6-8 hours of work to put all the bushings and ball joints and all that stuff in it. Or if I'm going to go ahead and do the torsion bar. I'm not sure yet. So, but we're making progress. This is not too far from being off of the chassis table and on the floor where we can start putting the motor in and getting the cab off of the body cart and back on, which I really want to do because I need the space. So, all right, I said I'd take you through the details on this. Those are the details. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is what it is. Drop your comments down there. We had some, just some not so nice comments on our recent video, not from any of my regular viewers. And I just always ask, don't be rude, be respectful, not only of me, but of each other. And, there's enough negativity in the world. And I really want this to be a place where people can be honest and be real and not get chewed out by some ashtray. That's what I'm saying. So thanks for being here. Like, share, subscribe. We have channel memberships for as little as $5 a month. And there's one more thing. It's an important thing, and I don't want you to forget. We're on MKS. It's the only thing that keeps us going some days.